This product is not yet rated. The Bloodsport is back. Midway and Epic Games present Unreal Tournament 2007. Harnessing the incredible power of Unreal Engine 3, the tournament has been transformed. The very latest in next-generation technology results in deadly competition that looks, sounds, and feels like nothing before. Compete in all new arenas with an incredible arsenal of weapons. Unreal Tournament is reborn with new and expanded onslaught warfare. Engage in immense tactical battles using the most advanced vehicular weaponry ever. Massive firepower. Unbelievable carnage. It's kill or be killed in the ultimate Unreal experience. Unreal Tournament 2007.
Okay, everyone, welcome to Electronic Revolution's ongoing coverage of CEVO Professional Season 4. Tonight's matchup is going to feature Complexity LA from the Championship Gaming Series taking on Team Hyper. This is a CEVO Professional Season 4 matchup, and I am joined tonight in the broadcasting booth with the man, the myth, the legend, Corey Dunn. What's going on?
Not too much. Just been enjoying myself. Recently moved to New York City, trying to get in touch of trying to bring some new stuff to the gaming community. We'll kind of hold off on that. We'll talk a little bit later about that. But really, I just want to get back into the whole casting, getting back into Counter-Strike, and, well, getting back into Counter-Strike Source. We'll talk about a little bit more about Complexity and Hyper, but things are going pretty good, man.
All right. I know you've probably been following the CEVO, the whole CEVO Professional season so far, and CGS. Who's impressed you the most so far?
Well, so far, honestly, it's kind of a mixture. I really want to see how these teams are going to start playing out. Of course, Devastation, who recently got picked up by Turmoil, I think they might have one of those better chances. I kind of want to see how well they play out. They're kind of a local team to the East Coast. But really, of course, it's got to be the best team at CGS, the best Counter-Strike Source team at CGS, Complexity. They've, of course, been all dominant throughout the previous seasons, whether it's 1.6 or Source, and I think they're going to carry that over into this. But, of course, we got to talk about Carolina Core and how well they've been playing as well.
Yeah, Carolina Core, they had a mediocre CGS. They actually surprised a lot of people. Mark Dolan's pick was kind of shady at the beginning, possible just because he worked with the pandemic organization before the CGS, before he was a general manager. But nonetheless, a shady pick, nonetheless. And then all of a sudden in the season, we get shocked. Complexity lost to Carolina Core on Inferno. That was one match that really I can remember vividly. I was watching Source TV when that happened, and Carolina Core making it into the finals. The Counter-Strike Source team did lose in that final matchup, but right now they're definitely looking really good, sitting pretty on top of the CEVO Professional leaderboard with a 3-0 record. Devour tearing things up, as well as great solid play from Def and Elusive. So Carolina Core definitely turning some heads.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that Carolina Core has the ability to, do some damage throughout the leagues. I mean, come on, it dates back to whenever pandemic, they put themselves through strenuous tests. They always try to make sure that their strats were on key. They always try to pull off and make sure that everything was completely invincible. And I think finally, even though it took them half the season at the CGS to be able to do it and rely entirely on Devour in the beginning of the season just to put a few rounds on the board, I think they're starting to get into their groove, and I think they might start putting things together. But I hate to say it, the Complexity LA, of course, is definitely the dominant team in Counter-Strike Source. And what lacked for them in the CGS was, of course, the Bell and Swoozy, and the fact that they had one of the best FIFA players, but FIFA doesn't bring in the net. Of course, we're talking about Counter-Strike Source. I can go on and on in days about CGS. But tell me a little bit more about Hyper.
Actually, I forgot to mention before we got on, before I did the introduction and everything, this is a rematch of last year's CEVO Professional Season 3 finals. If you remember, Team Hyper disputed Team Verge or Verge Gaming, however, whichever way you want to put it. The old Verge Gaming, they're no longer together. But anyway, Hyper disputed Verge. I forget what the reasoning was for, but Verge, one of Verge's members, it was not released to the public, but one of Verge's members did not record demos, so the match was overturned for Team Hyper, and they faced Complexity LA in the finals of last year's CEVO Professional Season 3. Complexity won, I believe, 2 maps to 0, so nonetheless, it doesn't matter for Hyper. They didn't win, but nonetheless, it is a rematch of last year's CEVO Professional Season 3. On Team Hyper, they've had a lot of changes, picking up Mafa and Goad, as well as the familiar face of Shredder on Hyper. They came back a little revamped. Not many people knew what was going to be in store for Team Hyper. They lost War Machine, they lost Clown. TN is not around anymore, and as well as, I'm trying to remember the one more. You're going to have to come back to me on that one, Corey. But Team Hyper coming in with a new revamped roster, and, you know, it's worked pretty well for them. They've been dominant on both Contra matches. We casted one of them. I believe they played... I'm trying to remember who they played. I think it was, they played San Francisco Optics, and they beat the Optics 10-8 as well. They got another 10-8 victory, I believe, as well on Contra, and then they won their first matchup on D2, or no, this is their first matchup on D2, sorry about that. We're going into week 2-2 after tonight, but Hyper looking very good so far. Nonetheless, we're going to have to see how this one plays out for him, but definitely one of those teams you got to watch when CGS Combine number 2 rolls around. If they can get some consistent play on land. I know Deimos has been inconsistent on land. I've never seen Mafa play on land either, but we'll have to see how it turns out for him. But they're definitely a team you got to watch for the CGS Combine, and they could be drafted up there with the likes of Pandemic and possibly Zomblers, if you consider them as well.
Zomblers, of course, is another one of those top teams that I wanted to really get in depth on, but I really want to see how these guys play out throughout the rest of this season. The only problem that I have right now, though, is it's not any of the teams. It can't really break it down onto how the things are playing for these guys. But my problem is the rule sets, on how they really affect these games and how they really are going to be played. Of course, these matches, whenever I was broadcasting, would last from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, but now they're ranging from 15 to 20 minutes. So, you know, I'm curious to see how fast this matchup is going to go, whether we're going to see really aggressive play from both teams, or I just really want to see how these games are going to be played out all the way through. So, I don't know. Let's focus a little bit more on the matchup between Complexity and Hyper. I want to get your take on which one do you think is going to come out on top.
I've been thinking about it for about a week now, Corey, on and off. You know, we've had this match scheduled for quite some time, so I've had a lot of time to think about it. You know, we've seen Hyper cast, I've casted Hyper already. I know how they kind of play. They're more of a run and gun, you know, kind of push Rambo style, no pun intended, with them playing Complexity tonight. But they're more of a run and gun style team, you know, kind of in your face, as well as Complexity, you know, kind of counters him with the Moxie and kind of just waiting and playing to perfection. Hyper is a young team. I was leaning towards Complexity. I was like, oh, Complexity's got this all the way. But the way I've seen Hyper play in both of their matches, I really don't know how it's going to turn out. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if I saw Hyper picking up the win here tonight. I could just see it going both ways, but I'm going to go with Complexity. 10 rounds to 8, or possibly a 10-9 overtime win. I'm undecided, really. It could go either way, in my opinion, but I'm going to go with Complexity.
You know, right now, it's really the battle between the old and the new. And you were talking about the run and gun, and all I could think of is Counter-Strike Source is built for Zet, and especially with the rule set, this game is built for the way that Zet plays this game. And of course, Fraud, over the time period that I've been watching on DirecTV and throughout the entire CGS tournament, I noticed that Fraud, he's a machine, he's a robot, and you really can't break that down. So I'm going to have to agree with you entirely that Complexity should take this one, because the matchups for Hyper have been close, and although Complexity's only played one match so far this season and had that forfeit against United 5, I think that, of course, Complexity will take this one. If we're going to go by the first one to 10, I would have to say it's going to be 10-3, depending on which sides start off first. But of course, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. They're going to see who's going to start on which side, and it really, and the rule set with CGS, if it comes down to an overtime, this knife round really does matter.
Yes, it does. They're not going to be doing it. I'm reading the chat going on right here. There's a problem in the server that Zet cannot log on to the anti-cheat client or of some sort, from what I'm reading quick like right here. They're saying they're going to have to wait for the CEVO admins to clear this all up. Server might be restarted, so we're going to be on a little bit of a delay right here. I'm picking Complexity, Corey's picking Complexity. If you guys have any shout-outs or if you have a prediction, get them in. Always pound E-rev on the Game Surge Network to E-rev CSS 2020 with shout-outs at the end of my name. That's in pound E-rev on the Game Surge Network. And if you're tuning into our live stream on www.e-rev.tv on the World Wide Web, make sure you register for our forums. Check out your favorite cast archives. Make a post. Say, hey, what's up, 2020? I love the cast. Or if you have some negative feedback, that you got some constructive criticism, it's all good. Just check us out on the World Wide Web, www.e-rev.tv. Like I said, we're just waiting for Complexity and Hyper to get things settled with the CEVO anti-cheat client. Waiting on Zet to get into that. As soon as that'll happen, we'll have the knife round and we'll be able to take it away. Corey, you got any shout-outs or anything you want to say? I know you haven't been casting in quite some time, so this is kind of a renaissance, so to speak, for you to get back on air.
Okay, well, I guess the company I work for now is called GameRight, which is the recent change from AmpedeSports.com. Of course, Amped Esports really focused on the news article, really gave you the news that you wanted to read, but didn't really give you the news that you wanted to comment on. Of course, GameRight's changing things up a little bit. It's really bringing the users into the crowd and allowing these guys to really talk it up. And I don't know, I'm enjoying it. Of course, stuff that I'm going to be doing with GameRight is kind of like a sports center thing for games, which I'm just going to allow y'all to check that out on your own. I'm not really going to publicize that right now. But anyway, as for the game, I want to see what's going to happen here. Who do you think is going to be calling it out now? Who's going to be your MVP for this game?
MVP, you know, I could just go with being bland and not take a risk. I could just say, you know, fraud. You know, always consistent, always you know, drops at least 10 kills in the match, you know, the least. But I'm gonna go out on a bit of a reach right now with the way Deimos has been playing on both of the Contra matchups. I'm gonna go with either Deimos or Shredder on Hyper. But you always got to watch out for fraud and, of course, the consistent play of Rambo as well on Complexity. So, and Zed as well. It could go any way with any player on any of the teams. But definitely watch Deimos and watch Shredder on Hyper, because they could shock some people.
Let's talk about real quick how Complexity already has that upper hand. Of course, all of Complexity are still playing in that Complexity house. Of course, looking at the ping right now, it looks like Zet might not be on the same level as the rest of the guys. As I'm kind of waiting to see if his ping is going to level off with the rest of these guys. But again, Complexity is back in the Complexity house after talking with Danny Montana, or better known as Fraud. They seem to be back in Dallas. As who's taking out this knife round?
Looks like Complexity's got the upper edge. There it is, Rambo getting the last knife kill of the knife round. They're switching up onto Terrorist side, so Complexity and Hyper are going to switch up. Hyper's going to start on the counter-terrorist side, and Complexity is going to be starting on the Terrorist side. Quick little roster rundown for you guys. You should know, but I'll say it anyway. On the side of Complexity, we have Storm, Rambo, Fraud, Zed, and Warden. Over on Team Hyper, we have Anger, Mafa64, Goad, Deimos, and Shredder. Alright, Live on 3 is being executed, hopefully. They're saying 03, it's not going down right now. Shredder's asking me. TK is going on right now. Just nothing really going on. They're saying Live on 3, have fun. Waiting for Live on 3 to be executed. There is, I believe, game has been restarted. Hopefully. Shredder doesn't know the config name. Anything you want to add on, Corey? Well, we got time right here. Oh, it's being executed right now. So you can take it away, Corey, with the first round of action between Complexity LA and Team Hyper.
Oh, getting back, just allowing me to just take it from you already off the start. Again, Complexity starting off on the terrorist side. Rambo to be able to pick up that knife round. Of course, that's probably going to help him out in the end if it really comes down to that overtime, which of course we're going to have to look at and Seems that they're messing around with the wrong config. Of course, like we talked about before, we're using the CJS rule set. And of course, you've lived under a rock, you don't know what's going on. Of course, CGS rules are based off of course, 9 rounds on both halves. And then, of course, there's also, you start off with 16K. No more having to work for your money. No more having to worry about the economy system. Of course, I'm a little bit against that kind of rule set. And, of course, the speed of the game is rather quick. But, oh, well, of course, they're trying to figure things out a little bit here. Again, I don't know. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the rules as is. Again, 16K to start off, and then 9 rounds on both sides. And if it comes down to an overtime, what we're talking about before, it's only 1 round. No 1 rounds on both sides. No attempts on either side. In the end, it could come down to anybody. But I honestly think on maps like, for instance, like Dust 2, if it comes down to an overtime, it's pretty one-sided.
Yeah, it'll definitely be on the side of the CTs that we'll see something coming out on overtime. But, you know, I've seen stranger things in the past. Looks like the config has been executed. I think we got it. Same match is going on live in 3 restarts. Hopefully they have money. We'll see it in just a second right now. I hope they got the right config. They're saying good luck, have fun. And yes, the config is working. So we are live right now. Complexity LA versus Team Hyper, the first round of play on DE Dust 2. It's live. Round's ready to go. We got Fraud watching mid. He's not going to go for the pick mid. He's going to go for the second jump across. Nothing going on, however, no picks. It looks like there's a 2-1-2 right now for Complexity. Hyper is stacking long A. They have 3 guys up there. Nothing really going on right now. There's 59 seconds left on the clock. We're going to be seeing a push possibly up short from Complexity in just a minute. Fraud's going to be with us off. He's going to check up short through the smoke's not going to see anything. He's going to throw a flash in just a minute. Complexity's going to be working their way down mid. Now they're going to be hopping up on short. Looks like we're going to have our first couple kills of the match. No, wait, never mind. They're going to be stalling up at short as well. They're going to be hit with a nade and now flashes. I cannot see what's going on. Corey, take it away because I'm still blind.
All right, so right now, take a look. Looks like Complexity's making their move towards Catwalk, but Anger's right there to shut down not 1, not 2, but 3 with a huge hat trick with that M4. As now Rambo finally able to counter back and put things a little bit more in Complexity's side, as it's now down to a 4v2 left up to Rambo and Storm. Now they're changing their attempt. Rambo carrying it over, getting that second frag of the game. Mofa is going to be able to drop down Storm, and it's all left up to Rambo, as it looks like Rambo's pushing inside the side, hopped through window and got dropped by Deimos, as now the score is going to be 1-0. Of course, Anger doing a great job holding down Catwalk. Complexity using that default strat, trying to spread out their guys, look for that pick. They executed for Catwalk and got completely annihilated there on Cat.
Yeah, definitely great work right there by Anger up at short A Catwalk. Got a hat trick of kills right there. Just an M4 spray came out, caught Complexity off guard. They were waiting in the back. They got flashed. Anger cut around the corner and picked up 3 quick kills with his M4. Great work by Anger right there. And I said, you know, don't be surprised if Hyper takes a couple rounds from Complexity. Don't be surprised because they're definitely a strong team and they're proving it right now in this CEVO season. A lot of people in CEVO TV tonight. There's 626 spectators. Hopefully you're tuning in to our live stream on www.e-rev.tv on the World Wide Web. And there it is again. Anger's going to pick up another M4 kill. Flashbangs going off. Another flash going. I can't see the kills right now. I'm still blind. Whole bunch of kills going on right there. Just a whole bunch of fire at short right now.
Anger was right there on Catwalk. He figured that he wanted to show off an instant replay here on e-rev TV as he was sitting again on Catwalk. Drop 2 and then falls back to watch long A to find another member being Complexity Rambo, as now it's going to be down to a 1 versus 2. Fraud's got that bomb in hand. It looks like he's heading straight for long A. He knows that Anger's there and he's going to be able to even things up. Bomb's going to get planted inside of the A bomb site as that was 1 second left. Fraud was able to peek out, shut down Anger, and now we're down to a 1-on-1, and it looks like we're about to see Shredder peek out, spams away, releases 10 bullets, and can't get the job done, as Fraud is able to come back and even things up, even after Anger was able to drop 3 that round. Again, score right now 1-1 here with Complexity and Hyper.
Yep, the score is 1-1. Fraud with 50 health. He came down long A, ran into Shredder with 30 HP. Shredder hit him twice with that M4, I believe, in the leg, and got Fraud down to 8 health, but did not pick up the kill. So Shredder fails to get the clutch right there for his team. But Hyper is still tied right now with Complexity. The score is 1-1. Looks like the bomb's going to be heading its way possibly into B. It's waiting outside of B tunnels. That is Storm with the bomb. He's going to be peeking into that B tunnel area. Rambo's going to be throwing some flashes mid. Looks like Complexity's just running that default strat, seeing where they can get the picks, and just take it from there. There's two Complexity members pushing up short A right now. They're going to run into Anger. Oh, Warden with a nice reflex shot. He's going to pick up another kill right there on a Hyper member. Looks like Warden's going to be working his way into A bomb site, hopping down through CT spawn and getting on the flank. They're going to drop down, meet Deimos. Deimos is going to pick up 2 kills on Warden and Rambo. Zet's going to get a kill on Deimos to end that streak. We are in a 1v3 situation in favor of Complexity, and there it is, Zet picking up the kill on Goad from CT spawn with his M4. Complexity is going to jump out to their first lead of the night, the score being 2-1 in favor of Complexity LA. What were your takes on that round, Corey?
Well, of course, Complexity was going with that default strat again. They were spreading out their guys. They were allowing the bomb carrier to sit inside of B tunnels and wait for a quick pick. As soon as Complexity was able to get that first kill of the game, it seemed that Hyper got a little bit antsy and started to transfer way too quick, and it just allowed Complexity to just set up their crosshairs and drop one after the other. And of course, Deimos and Go tried for the flank, but it just wasn't happening. As Complexity doing a great job, team communication, they're taking advantage of all being in that Complexity house. Of course, score right now 2-1. Hyper already down a member. Anger, who's been able to do a great job of the first 2 rounds of the game, has now been shut down. And again, it's down to a 4-on-5 in favor of Complexity. Warden making that move. He's trying to get those entry kills inside of the A bomb site. Going to be completely blind and see if he might be able to get out of here. As now he's going to go and hide it out there. He's got his teammate to be able to get that bomb down. As now it's going to be down to a 3-on-2 after Rambo is able to take out Go. It looks like Complexity is going to be completely blind, and Warden was able to peek out and shut down Mofa. As Deimos is heading towards Catwalk, they try to sandwich in there on that A bomb site. As now Warden's in a bad situation, stuck inside the site. Deimos just on the other side. He's going to be grouped up there by Shredder. As now they're about to be able to peek out here inside the site. Shredder spots Warden, but not going to be able to connect. As now Rambo just holding off. He's waiting for Warden to be able to bait out, and Rambo takes advantage of it, takes down Deimos. As now it's going to be down to a 1-on-3. Shredder doing a smart thing. He's going to go and hold that AWP, although I really don't think the money matters that bad here in the CGS rule set. But anyway, Complexity takes another round, 3 rounds in a row here to Hyper's 1.
Yeah, you mentioned that the money really doesn't matter. I'm seeing a lot of players, you know, with the bombs already planted and they're in like, you know, a 1v4, 1v3 situation, they just kind of save the op because you really don't want to get into money constraints with the CGS because the other team isn't. So they like to save it just in case, you know, they get into a money trap with their team and they have to drop someone. That way they save a little bit of money and you know, just help out their team as much as they can. They don't want to, you know, die and then all of a sudden you're on like a full save. We've seen it before happen, but you know, a full save in CGS rounds with the other team with full weapons, it's a kind of hard thing to do, just rushing the site with its time constraints. Looks like Bomb is down in B tunnel. Zed picking up the first kill of the fifth round rather, with an M4 shot on Anger up at short A. Dominant Rambo-esque play from Zed, just pushing up short A. Definitely likes the run and gun. He's going to get a spray down up at middle on Maffa 64, but Rambo is going to clean up the mess, getting the kill on Maffa. Rambo's going to get another kill now at middle with a headshot on Shredder with his AK-47. Storm's got the bomb. He's working into B tunnels. He's going to run into one. Hyper member, that is Deimos. Bomb is down now after the kill from Deimos in B bomb site. We're in a 2v2 situation. Looks like Rambo's going to be pushing up into B tunnels, going to run into Deimos in lower B. There's going to be shots fired in just a minute. Deimos is going to be peeking up, looking like he's going to go back down in B tunnels. Check to the right. He's going to run into Rambo and pick up a nice M4 shot on Rambo. End of the round right there. Time has run out for this round. That's going to get a kill on Goad at the end of the round, but Hyper is going to inch back closer right now. The score is 3-2 in favor of Complexity LA. I told you before, Corey, it could be interesting with this one. Team Hyper definitely looking impressive to me, even though they're down right now by 1 round.
Huge AWP shot there from Fraud. Of course, we've seen that on any version of Counter-Strike. Fraud able to pick up that mid pick. Of course, right now, the last round, the reason why Hyper was able to pick it up is because Goat and Deimos are doing a great job to be able to get that flank there towards that long A, as now it looks like Storm and Zed are going to be able to start things off again. And Mofo's finally going to be able to shut down Fraud. Now down to a 2v3 as Mofo's going to get that second frag of the game, as I believe he picked up, actually, no, as his own AWP. I thought he picked it up off of Fraud. As now it's going to be down to a 2-on-3. They're able to get that bomb down inside of the A bomb site. Deimos spots Storm, able to shut him down, evening things up. As it looks like it's left up to Warden and Rambo. Warden peeks out, shuts down Deimos, and Rambo on the other side. Great teamwork by Complexity, as Rambo and Warden able to execute frag after frag to be able to pick up another round here, 4-2 in favor of Complexity.
Yep, Complexity's going to gain another round right now, inching away from Team Hyper, although still in the mix of things. We're in round 7. Rambo's going to get a nice pick through the doors. Fraud did it last round. Now Rambo's going to take a page out of Fraud's book and get the kill right there on Deimos, hopping over into B bomb site. So there's going to be a man down in B bomb site. Zed's going to pick up a kill at short A. Storm's going to get a nice kill on Shredder through the smoke. Great shot by Storm with his AK-47. Bomb's going to be working its way into B bomb site. Should get planted in just a bit. Zed's going to pick up another deagle kill on Anger. Goat's going to get a kill on Zed, and then Storm is there, trading kills back and forth. Storm's going to get the last kill of the round on Goat. A fast round right there for Complexity, showing dominance over Hyper. Nice pick in the beginning of the round by, I believe that was Rambo, and then Storm picking up a nice kill through the smoke on Shredder, opening up B bomb site and opening up the round for Complexity.
Of course, right now scores 5-2. Hyper was on a save there. That's the reason why they got completely annihilated. So Rambo getting that early pick in the round again. So it scores 5-2. And it looks like Hyper will be able to buy. Anger had enough in this round. He's able to shut down Zet with his very own AWP. He's, instead of pushing down towards long A, this time he's up on top A, making those picks and able to drop Zet. Of course, Storm also going to get dropped there by Deimos. Storm really hasn't been producing, so Fraud is going to carry his own weight and to be able to get his second frag here in this round. But of course, Shredder comes back around, evening things. Actually taking that advantage back in here, as now it's going to be down to a 3-on-2. Warden getting that bomb down. The combination of Warden and Rambo. See how well they'll be able to get this job done. Rambo drops 1, 2. He's able to even things up down to a 1-on-1. Using those flashbangs effectively, and Mofa comes out aggressive, hops on the railing, and drops Rambo on the platform, getting that easy defuse. Great job by Hyper, but it almost seemed as if Rambo was going to be able to come back. Score now 5-3. After that save round from Hyper.
Yeah, save round for Hyper, very efficient. They pick up the round. They're going to go up one more on the scoreboard. They're down by 2 rounds to Complexity. The score is 5-3. We're in the 9th round of play. It's going to be the last round of the first half. Shredder getting a nice pick mid on Fraud, something very hard to do, but he does it so automatically. Hyper's in a 5v4 situation, playing the power play on Complexity. Warden's got the bomb. He's going to be working up possibly mid. Now he's looking to go long. Going to have to see where the bomb's going to be heading. He's going to drop it down over at A site. We got 3 Complexity members over at A, 2 up middle. Bomb is down outside of A. Rambo's going to be working up middle. He's going to get a couple of shots off, I believe, on Shredder. Shredder down to 18 health. Flash is being thrown by Rambo right now. Shredder's going to be watching with us off at mid. Bomb's going to be working his way long A. Warden's going to pick up a kill on Goat in pit, and then Mofa and Anger both picking up kills of their own to take out 2 Complexity members. Right now we're in a 2v4 situation. 708 spectators in Source TV. It's a big match tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Zed going middle right now and picking up a nice AK-47 spray on Deimos, and then he's going to pick up another kill on Shredder at mid. So Zed single-handedly right now taking out all of Hyper. We are in a 2v2 situation. Zed, with the great play from him over at middle, is going to even things up. Anger's going to be pushing short A right now. He's going to come out. He's going to get shot from Storm. Storm is going to take out Anger with his AK-47. Mo for the last remaining Hyper member. He's going to see Zed in sight. Is going to pick up the nice M4 headshot right there on Zed. Mofa is going to be with his M4. Counter-terrorists are going to win this round, and he's going to pick up the kill on Storm. So great job by Hyper right there, playing the man, playing a man down, or no, in the man advantage. Sorry about that. And they pick up another round, and the score is 5-4 at halftime in favor of Complexity LA.
Complexity did a great job throughout the entire first half, but the problem is that they started to slack. They left long A and allowed Deimos along with Goat to be able to transfer back around to be able to get those flank frags, and then they started slacking on the frags. It seemed that Storm just really wasn't carrying his own weight. Zed had a couple rounds, but it really wasn't that much. But again, the first half score going to be 5-4 in favor of Complexity. Hopefully, Hyper can carry over that momentum here into the second half and to be able to get the job done against Complexity. Coming into the second one, do you think that Hyper can take it and put a W against the, even though it's been only one match, the undefeated Complexity?
We'll have to see. Complexity got a forfeit win against United 5 in the first week of the season, and then when their second matchup, I believe, I'm forgetting who they played in the second week, but they did pick up a win nonetheless. So they're 1-0 in the rankings with a forfeit win. Forfeit wins do not count as an actual win. Deimos getting the first kill of the second half with a kill on Warden. Getting back to Corey's question, I really think Hyper can take it. I didn't think, it would be that close. I thought they'd be down by 2 rounds at half. Kind of surprising me, and here we go. Here comes Fraud. He's going to pick up 2 quick op shots on Hyper members at long, just all of a sudden stopping the push at A. Bomb is down at long A. Zet's going to pick up an M4 kill on Anger. Just rotations right now from Complexity over into the A bomb site. There's 2 Hyper members up on Catwalk. Not Alan Shore. Shredder's going to hop down into CT spawn and pick up a kill on Zet. Fraud's going to get his 3rd kill of the round on Mofa 64. Right now we're in a 2v1 situation in favor of Complexity. Fraud's going to turn around the corner and pick up his 4th kill of the round, so Fraud getting the getaways. Couldn't get the full one. Zek got 1 kill that round, but Complexity is going to extend their lead right now. The score is 6-4 in favor of them. I don't know if Hyper can come back, Corey, but we'll have to see. They're in reach, so it should be interesting on how this one plays out.
Complexity has 2 guys watching towards that long A side, and Fraud, of course, you can just leave him there by himself, but Mofa decided to do the same thing that Rambo and Fraud did in their first half, as he was able to get that first pick through the door, evening things right there. Now it's going to be down to a 4-on-5 as Complexity's in this disadvantage. It seems that Shredder's carrying it over. They're hitting towards that B bomb site. Deimos getting the job done where they don't need to, as it seems that Anger is also going to get another frag. Warden it all by himself down to a 1v4. He's going to play this one really aggressive, trying to get himself a frag. Gets himself a second one, but Anger will be able to shut him down, as now the score is going to be 6-5 overall in favor of Complexity. Hyper did a great job. They hit that weak point towards that B bomb site after Mofa was able to get that pick.
Yeah, Mofa got the pick over at B, and they got their way in a bomb site B, got the bomb planted, played the man advantage, and wrapped up the round by getting the kill on Warden. If I was Warden right there, I probably would have saved the M4, but hey, what are you going to do? He wanted some kills, and he got 2, so, makes Hyper buy this round. As you can see, a whole bunch of kills right now outside of Wong 8. Deimos is going to pick up a headshot on a Complexity member. Flashes are being thrown, nades being thrown, everything but the kitchen sink basically over at Wong 8. Deimos is going to pick up his 2nd kill of the round on Friday. He's going to turn the corner and meet Zet, and there it is. Zet picking up 2 M4 kills over at Long A, one being on Mofa 64, the other one being on Deimos, so just stopped the Wong A push single-handedly. Bomb is down outside of Wong A after the great play from Zet. Zet 88 HP, sorry about that, with an AK-47 in hand outside of pit. He's going to be waiting for all the Hyper members to come up, possibly off of platform. Shredder's going to be hopping down in the CT spawn. He's going to run into Rambo. He can't see it, however, he's going to spray through the box, and there it is, picking up the kill on Rambo. We're in a 1v1 situation right now. Shredder peeking into Wong A pit. He's going to be shooting his M4, not M4, but AK, and there it is. Zet's going to be getting an AK-47 kill on Shredder to end the 3rd round. So now Complexity LA inching away. Could this be it? We'll have to see. They're up 2 rounds over Team Hyper right now. The score is 7-5.
These round timers are so harsh on the terrace. Whenever it comes down to it, if you lose that bomb, then it's pretty much game over. As you can see right there, Zet, he was able to get the bomb down there inside on Long A. He was able to cover it. If that pushed the last member of Hyper being Shredder, he had to push up, he had to play aggressive, and of course he was in that disadvantage whenever Zet had that angled shot. And now the score, of course, is in the lead of Complexity, 7-5 overall, as Complexity is just starting to pull through a little bit more. They're only 3 more rounds away from taking this one. As now let's go and take a look and see what Hyper is doing. They're spreading their guys out. They're looking for that first frag to be able to make that move. Goad starting to push up here towards Catwalk, taking a peek shot, going to go and trying to get that little pre-fire action. I believe that was Fraud on the other side, trying to almost pick him off, but it's not happening. It looked like Fraud is now down to 41, and all of the action is really happening there inside of mid, as Goad is able to peek out, drop 1, And now he's going to work his way towards that B bomb side. Takes a look as it looks like Hyper is now heading towards the B side. Rambo 10 HP right there as it looked like Goat had no clue where Rambo was. And finally, Rambo's going to go down as now it's down to a 2v3. Bomb in the hands of Shredder getting planted inside of that B bomb site. Mofa peeks out and able to shut down Fraud. Mofa again getting a second frag, and Warden said, I'm tired of your crap. I'm going to shut you down right here inside of that B-bomb site. So now it looks like the score is going to continue in favor of Complexity's side, as now it's going to be altogether 8-5. You know, I thought my math would go out the door, you know, from not casting much, but, you know, it's not that bad, as, again, Complexity's leading this one here over Hyper.
Well, it's also CGS rules, so you don't have to worry about too many rounds getting into the 15th, and then all of a sudden, you know, worrying about your second half, 30 rounds total and everything. It's a lot easier to cast CGS. I find it a lot faster, and it's a little more entertaining to the spectator sport. Playing it, it all depends on how you feel. I'm not too crazy about it, but it is fun as well. You don't have to worry about saving and all this stuff. You can just focus on your game. As you can see right now, we're in round 5 of this matchup between LA Complexity and Team Hyper. A whole bunch of kills going down right now. Anger picking up a kill, Fraud picking up a kill, and Mofa picking up a kill. So right now that's going to put us into a 3v2 situation in favor of Team Hyper. Bomb's going to be working its way up into A. That's Goad with the bomb. He's going to be peeking out long A. Sprays AK-47. Now he's going to be throwing a nade to Wong. He's going to get behind that box. Get on the keypad, and the bomb has been planted in A bomb site. Rambo's going to get the immediate kill on Goad after the plant. Deimos is going to pick up an AK-47 kill on Storm. So we're in a 2v1 situation. There it is. Shredder getting the last kill of this round on Rambo, and Team Hyper right now inching back closer. It seems like they can't get past the margin of 2. We'll have to see how this one turns out. But the score right now is 8-6 in favor of Complexity LA.
Of course, right now what I'm looking at, it seems that Hyper are really trying to work that catwalk. What they really need to do is, I think, honestly, their best bet has to be that B bomb site. Although they're having to deal with one of the most well-known gamers in the world, Rambo, right there on that B bomb site. I really think they can be able to shut him down. It looks like Anger was able to get that quick shot there into Warden, but Storm able to even things back up 4-on-4. As we're taking a look here, it seems that they're making their move up there. Shredder was trying to get a peek there on to Rambo, just not happening today. As it now looks like Deimos able to bring it back in their favor, but Fraud just dropping it back. They're working that mid side. Fraud almost got taken down, but an overkill by the AWP from Mofa, as now it's down. Like I've said it 10,000 times this round, it's all tied up right here in this round, 2 versus 2. Let's go and see how this is going to work out. Mofa and Gold going up against Rambo and Storm. It looks like Gold is going to commit here towards catwalk. They've got to be able to do it here in 20 seconds. Mofa and Gold making their move. Let's go and take a look here. Rambo trying to get that shot there on the catwalk. Storm making a move there, as it looks like they're trying to be able to sandwich down here on towards this site. Bombs getting planted, as now look again is down to a 2v2. Bomb down in the A bomb site. Rambo and Storm trying to converse over there towards that A bomb site, and Rambo's gonna get the first one and get dropped there by Mofa, and Storm coming back around. Goat's got to be able to shut down Storm right here. He doesn't want this game to end right here and allow them to be at game point. Goat doing a great job of cat and mouse. Storm is trying to find him. He can't peek him, and Goat peeks out. And that should be another round here for Complexity, as, yeah, that's going to be it. And Complexity's got another round. Game point coming in for Complexity. Goat wasn't able to run away long enough, as now the score is going to be 9-6 overall, as Complexity, again, is game point here on Dust 2.
Yep, we'll have to see. Complexity's on match point right now. The score is 9-6 in favor of them. Team Hyper playing valiantly right now. I don't know if it'll be enough, but we could see the comeback. The worst, or the best they can do right now is force it into overtime and have to play that one sudden death round. Nades being thrown right now outside of Long. Shredder's got the bomb. He's in B tunnels. Looks like we might be seeing a B push shortly from Hyper. Shots being fired by Anger, just a little pre-fire. Deimos is going to be working out of Long A. He's going to run into one Complexity member in pit. That is Fraud. Deimos picking up the nice crisp AK-47 shot on Fraud in pit. So that's going to put Hyper in the power play advantage. 4v5. 719 people watching in Source TV. It's a very popular match. And hopefully you're tuning into our live stream at www.e-rev.tv on the World Wide Web. Mofa64 picking up another kill at mid right now. We're in a 5v3 situation situation in favor of Team Hyper. Anger's going to pick up another kill right there, so it's going to go 5-2, and then Anger's going to pick up his second kill of the round with another kill on Storm. Warden's going to get a kill on Anger, and the bomb has been planted in B bomb site. Warden going outside of long A, going into A connector. It could just be a full save right here by Warden. Doesn't want to risk it. He's already down in the man advantage. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be hiding in the cubby right there of A connector and just waiting for the round to end. Bombs ticking away in B bomb site. Shredder's going to be making his exit, seeing that Warden's going to be saving. Deimos is going to be going out into T-spawn. Mofa walking up right now, going up towards T-spawn. Warden still camping inside of A connector. Deimos coming around on the flank right now. 14 HP, AK-47 in hand. Could he get the exit kill possibly on Warden? No, Warden's going to get the kill on Deimos with a nice M4 headshot right on Deimos in T-spawn, forcing him to buy next round. So Team Hyper is going to gain another round, inch back closer into this one. They're down 2 rounds again. The score is 9-7.
So far, again, Hyper, the way they were able to execute that round so perfectly was that they were able to rely on that first pick in towards long A. What that allowed to do was to be able to spread out Complexity a little bit and then put Zet on his toes. He really didn't know how to work it there with Rambo inside of B, so that spread out those guys, and then Hyper was able to get the job done. But this round, it looks like to be a save round here for Complexity, as Zet was able to pick up Shredder's AK-47, drop 2, as Anger was able to answer back there into Rambo. Fraud does have an AWP for this round, though, so it's not a complete save, as Fraud was looking for that shot, going to get shut down there. Storm going to go and flank back around by Anger, as now it's going to be down to a 2-on-2. Bombs down somewhere. They got to find it. As now again, Deimos and Goad. Goad hasn't been on top of the leaderboard. He needs to get the job done. Storm going to go and fall back as his teammate Fraud got shut down there over towards long A. Bomb is actually ticking away here there and towards that A bomb site, as it looks like Deimos and Goad are going to go and run out of here, and Storm's going to go and save that AK-47 for another round. As now it's starting to even up a little bit, as it now scores 9-8. Overall, still in favor of Complexity, so we're either looking for that overtime or maybe game point here for Complexity.
We're going to have to see how this one works for Complexity. We're in round 9 of the second half. It's either going to go to overtime or a win for Complexity. If you've tuned into our Electronic Revolution broadcast in the past of CVOP, every match that we've done, except for last week's match, Carolina Core versus 3D New York, has ended in 10-8. We could be seeing that again tonight with Complexity winning 10-8. 59 seconds left on the clock. Looks like Bomb's going to be working its way into B bomb site again. Rambo's going to be pushing up, not picking up a kill, however, and knocked down to 38 HP, courtesy of Shredder's nade. Zet's going to be pushing out through terrorist spawn. Warden picking up 1 and 2 kills over at long A, so Warden shutting down the push at long A. Mofa64's got the bomb. Looks like he's going to be working up middle. Anger's going to pick up a nice kill in CT spawn on Rambo. Mofa's got the bomb. He's going to be going through window right now, possibly trying to get that bomb planted. He's going to hop down, gets on the keypad. Bomb is going to be planted in B bomb site. It's a 3v3 situation. Zet's going to pick up a kill in tunnels on Anger. Flash is being thrown in his sight. Everybody is blind. Shredder picking up 1 and 2 kills, and then Storm is going to get the kill, the final one on Shredder. That's going to be GG all around. The final score of tonight's matchup is Complexity LA 10 and Team Hyper 8. A great, valiant performance from Team Hyper. Just came up a little short. One more round, they would have sent it into overtime, into that sudden death 1 round. Corey, any final thoughts on this matchup? Hyper was right there with them the entire time. They made a great comeback at the end, picking up 2 straight rounds. We're on a 2-0 run, but just couldn't close things out against Complexity.
Well, when it comes down to it, Complexity was playing a passive game on the CT side. They were allowing Hyper to really come to them. And then, of course, what happened was Deimos and Goad were working that long A. And really what it came down to it is if Deimos and Goad were able to get those frags in the beginning of the game, they were able to get the round. But, of course, if Warden or Fraud was able to shut them down, then you know which way that round was going to go. So in the end, what it really came down to it, Hyper just didn't really execute strategies enough. And that's, I think, really one of the topics that I love to talk about is CGS. Is there really strategy coming into it, or is it all about run and gun? And if it's about running and gunning, then you know that Zet is by far one of the best run and gunners that there is. So, really, like, the very last part of the round, you're able to watch Zet. Zet pushed all the way through the B tunnels. They would not have won that round if Zet didn't push through and was able to get that quick flank once the bomb was down inside the B bomb site. So we could have been going into an overtime But, of course, the dramatic play, the way that Complexity plays together, it's always going to come out on top. Of course, now Complexity has 2 wins, 1 forfeit win here in CEVO Professional. Hyper, what are they at now?
They're down to 3-1 in the standings. The last remaining undefeated team after tonight is the Carolina Core. Some people might be surprised. I am by that. I would surely have thought with the schedule that maybe Hyper would have won, or possibly another shocker to me is Team 3D. They're not playing very well. They're 0-3 and in the cellar, the basement, so to speak, of CEVO Professional. That's another thing I want to get with you, Corey, while we wrap things up. What's your take on 3D New York? Because right now they're 0-3. They are rivals from Complexity, but it's not much of a rivalry if the other team isn't playing at all, to where the other their competitor, their rival, so to speak, is playing. They're not on the level that Complexity is. What's your take on that?
Let's go and talk a little. I mean, really, this is a perfect topic that we can talk about. Knowing Volcano is by far one of the better players for Team 3D playing Counter-Strike Source, and that's one of their main dilemmas, is that he's one of the main ones carrying them throughout whatever game that they're playing. He's the one that's being able to put the rounds on the board, and at the same time, one of the main dilemmas that goes on with 3D, if you want to go date back into Counter-Strike 1.6, where the rivalry originated, where it started, Complexity played a really hardcore game where they were able to make shot for shot, they were able to peak, they were able to get the job done, with Fraud having an amazing AWP, Warden being incredible with the rifles, and then you come back to 3D. The reason why 3D wins rounds is because of pure strategy, and with the CGS rule set, I hate to say it, whenever you're playing in a round that's only a minute 20, that's only roughly 80 seconds to work with to get the bomb down, and if you lose the bomb, it's game over from there. So team communication is very small when it comes to the CGS rule set, because again, it's all about whether you can make the shot or not. The question that I have for everyone out there is, gaming, is CGS or is Counter-Strike, are we going to try to go for more mainstream and take away from the competitive aspect, or are we going to go back into competitive gaming and come back to where Counter-Strike was born and grew up? I don't want to see it die now.
I really, I can't agree, saying that Counter-Strike is, a fading game. It is having its downs right now. With basically, I like to call them the Big Six. Those 6 teams that were drafted into the CGS are now gone from competitive play, as an individual company. But you're having, these teams coming up, such as Hyper, such as, Zomblers, formerly known as Check 6 and Revolution Sports. They're becoming bigger. You're having those teams fill the void of your EFGs, your EGs, those types of teams. I'm still not seeing a team that can fill the shoes of a Complexity in 3D. And I don't think there ever will be a team. I think it's always just going to be Complexity. I could see Complexity staying around, or if Counter-Strike Source does fade out, or if it goes to another game, they'll be around. As well as 3D. With probably different members. But that name will always still be there. And the play from 3D right now, getting back to that, I don't know what's going wrong for him. Rector's not, pulling his weight. No offense to any of the players that I'm naming, but Rector and K-Sharp are the 2 that come straight to mind that really need to start opening their game, and to help Volcano out, because he can't do the whole thing. Method came back the other night and did very well as well, so Method's getting back into it. It's just, I don't know what's going to go on with 3D, but they did pick up their first win of the night tonight. They did beat Pandemic 12-6 over a strong, pretty Pandemic forbidden team. Paradox won with the new addition of Griff, Nick Noy, and I believe I'm missing one. I don't know. I'm just drifting right now. But 3D, they're going to have to get K-Sharp and Rector back on track. Otherwise, this could be a long season for them, even though they did pick up a win tonight against a pretty strong Pandemic team.
Well, again, I mean, you pretty much brought it up. The main reason for 3D not doing so well is, of course, Kyle K-Sharp Miller is by far one of the... He's a classic. But again, that's one of his dilemmas, is he's a classic, and I don't think he's up to date on what's going on, and he really didn't come throughout the entire CGS season. And then you can give him as much time as you want. He may have one of the lowest Steam IDs in Counter-Strike, but that still doesn't make him, that professional player that he was. and that may be a little bit harsh, but I think that I really want him to come out and play the game that we used to know, that back whenever we used to watch him play on X3, and you know, that's what it comes down to, it, that 3D is going to have to come together and go shot for shot instead of strat for strat.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I couldn't agree with you more on that. K-Sharp's definitely got to get back to his old playing days. I don't know, he's probably just searching for his playing style again, or he's just trying to force the issue by not changing his playing style. I know teams do a lot of scouting and a lot of strategies just for different players, and K-Sharp might be one of those examples. He's just trying to force the issue, trying to say well, it worked in the past, but why isn't it working now? But I think if I stick with the way I play right now, I think it'll pull through for me. If you're listening right now, dude, I really don't think it is. I don't know if Corey agrees with me right now, but you're gonna have to switch up the way you play. Either play a little more passive, or get in there and bump and grind. You can't be in the middle that you're doing right now. You're playing way too wishy-washy, and he's really just he's really hurting his team more than anything else, and that's something you really don't want to do in Counter-Strike.
All right, so let's go and have a quick wrap-up of that Complexity and Hyper in the end. Complexity's just that much more of a dominant team. And I think that, again, Hyper just needs to work on the few little things here and there. Deimos and Go, they did decent on the first half, but in the second half, they really have to learn how to play a little bit more aggressive and get those peak shots. But in the end, like we said in the beginning, it's a counter-terror-sided map, and that's the way that Dust 2 rolls in Counter-Strike Source. So it's really anybody's game. My question for you real fast, Trip, is that what teams do you see being top 3 in the CEVO Pro?
The way it's going right now, I'm seeing Carolina Core at the top of the standings with a 3-0 record. I don't think they're going to last. I could be wrong right there. I could see Carolina Core, maybe top 5, maybe, getting into that 5th spot. I'm really looking at Turmoil, aka Devastation and Flow. I really think Sasquatch is going to have a real standout year, and just kind of break away and get into that superstar status that he's been hovering on for so long. I think you could see his name up there with the reputable players of Fraud and Zed, as well as Clown, Mo from EFG. And all those guys. I think you could definitely consider Sasquatch, now or later. I think Turmoil will be a team to watch. I think the Last Resort, I've been impressed with them as well. I think they can make a good running for the that 4th or 5th spot as well. But up at the top, I'm seeing maybe 3D pulled together. I don't know if they'll make it up there, but I'm definitely seeing Complexity. I'm definitely seeing Hyper up there, and I'm seeing Pandemic. Those are the top 3 teams that you're gonna have to watch for. That'll be your top 3, but don't be surprised if you see the Last Resort. Dutch has amazed me with his off work so far. He's definitely somebody you got to watch out for on that roster. TLR playing very solid so far. I believe they're 2-1. And also you have to always make sure of Team Turmoil coming out of there with Sasquatch and Cheeks. So those are my picks for the top 5. I know North American rankings are going to be coming out for Goffrag. We're going to have to see how that turns out. But getting into the wrap-up now, if you're just tuning in, you missed the cast, but the final score, if you're just tuning in right now, is Complexity LA 10, Team Hyper 8. Corey, any final words before I close things up here?
No, guys, thanks for letting me hop on here and give a little play-by-play, give you my whole analysis on how the way that Counter-Strike Source is going, and as well as allowing me to voice my opinion on Complexity as well as Hyper. So I'd like to thank e-rev TV, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be getting in contact with you later on, get you in some more casts. It's definitely been fun. So that's going to conclude Electronic Revolution's coverage of CEVO Professional Season 4 for tonight. Final score, Complexity LA 10 and Team Hyper 8. For Travis 2020, this is Travis 2020 Hazel signing out for Corey Dunn. This has been Electronic Revolution Broadcast. Viva la Revolution, and Idle and Perform pound E-Rev on the Game Surge Network. And also shout out to our video guy for tonight, Josh Eisen Doty. Make sure you say hi to him and pound E-Rev. That's going to wrap things up for us tonight. We'll see you around. For Corey Dunn, this is Travis 2020 Hazel signing off.